Hello everyone, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this card making paper crafting tutorial. This is a lovely card making today. It's an all over shaker, so this is what I call a flat full card shaker, and features excuse me, the Nests of Winter Designer Series paper, and we're going to be using this paper for the next 3 projects, including 4 projects including this one. And I just love it. Look at it, it's just so very simple card, but it's just so sweet. I love these 2 little birds here. Sorry about the glare from the acetate, but it's just such a cute, and I love the sentiment. All the best in your new adventure. So I liked it so much I thought let's make a second one together. So let's start off with our stamping, so we can let that dry for a second. I have a scrap here of basic white cardstock, and here's my ink pad, and I'm going to use this set. It's actually a Christmas set that says Peace on Earth, and you've got some lovely sentiments, but you've also got this, all the best in your new adventure. So that can be for any time of the year, it doesn't just have to be for Christmas. So really useful. So let's use our grid paper to get that straight. Pick it up with our block. There we go, and I'm going to stamp in Early Espresso ink. I'm using Early Espresso for all of these projects. I'm sort of keeping a bit of a continuity towards them, so just ink that up. My ink pad, as usual, could do with a ink re-inking, but that'll do. I'm just going to bring this straight and down, somewhere around there. There we go, all the best in your new adventure. So I'm going to set that aside to dry, and then I'll cut that out using my trimmer or my scissors. So let's just give this a little clean quickly so we can put it back in its home. And this is just a simple chamois, perfect for cleaning up all sorts of inky messes. Let's put that back in its little home, and therefore we won't have any orphan stamps. Right, let's start to make our shaker card. Our card base is going to be Early Espresso. So this is a standard A6 card base. That's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. And then I've got a piece here of basic white cardstock that measures 14.35 centimeters by 10. I'm going to put in for the insert. But don't worry, all the measurements are listed in the blog post, and you can find the link to that in the description box below. You can also find the link to all the supplies I'll use, so you can shop this card today and make one yourself. Right, let's set that aside as well. We've got a piece here of the lovely Designer Series paper that I've cut down, and then I've got a piece here of just very thin acetate. Our window sheet I feel is a bit too thick for this card, so this is just a scrap piece of very thin acetate from some packaging. You can also use just a cello bag that you cut down, whatever, and it's a bit too big for my card, so I'm just going to see if I can sort of see. I have about a centimetre or 2 centimetres give around each side, and then I am just going to cut this roughly. Doesn't need to be perfect, no one's going to see anything. Okay, so get rid of those bits, and now I'm going to turn this on its back, and we're going to put some tearing tape down. So I'm going to get that, and I'm going to put it down both sides initially. It will cover the whole of the backing eventually, but yeah, I like this. Okay, and then on this side as well, and tearing tape does what it says on the tin. It tears so easily at the end, so you don't have to worry. And then I'm just going to take my bone folder, if I can find it. Here it is, and just give that a burnish to make sure it's really nicely stuck. And then I'm going to take off just one piece, centre this in my bit of acetate, and I'm going to fold that over. and then give that a burnish as well, so you get a nice crisp fold. Then move to the other side, take that off, make sure everything is kept nice and flat, give that a burnish. So there you can see it's coming together. So now we're going to do our bottom, and I'm going to take a little bit of the bulk out here, so I'm just going to cut at an angle, just like when we take the bulk out of a corner, when we're making a pocket, or when we are making boxes or anything like that. Exactly the same principle. Okay, so now I'm going to put some tear and tape along the base here, and make sure you cover it all right across the edge, because this is what's going to hold all your sequins in. You don't want them floating about. Okay, now fold that in and give it another burnish, and then we've got our little pocket that we can put our sequins in. Right, so now Stampin' Up do sell some gold loose sequins, and I will link them in the description box. But as you know, I'm on a mission to use up my ton of sequins in my stash, so I'm going to be using up stuff from my stash. So I've got, as you can see, a ton of gold sequins, various things, colours, whatever. And this is just one box. I've got 4 of these. Yeah, I told you I had a problem. So I really need to use up the stuff. So I didn't, before I bought new, I wanted to use up what I've got. But if you don't have any sequins in your stash, the ones from Stampin' Up are really nice. And I will list them below for you. So I'm going to just put a few in there, maybe a few more. I've got plenty of them. Well, that's plenty, enough, as good as a feast, that'll do. I still seem to have tons. I use them and I use them and they just don't go down. It's like a magic box. Okay, and I just got this little holder for them online. Really useful. I went through all of my sequins and put them all into the same storage. I had them all in various different containers, different sizes and stuff, and of course I never knew what I had, where anything was, so I put them all into the same container, and that way I then knew what was going on. Right, now I'm going to do the same at the top here. We're going to take out some of that bulk by cutting at an angle, the acetate, and then we're going to put a piece of tear and tape across the top here. And give that a little burnish. Take the backings off and then fold that over and burnish it again. And there we have our shaker pocket. Look at that. Isn't that fun? So much fun in that. Right. Now you can stick this down with some glue, whatever you want to call it, Tombow. I'm going to just use some more tear and tape. This is what I've got with me here now. So I'm just going to go around the edge and put this down. Also, I find where the plastic is of the acetate, tear and tape sticks better than, say, Tombow. And that is more than enough. Give everything a burnish. If you give any kind of adhesive as pressure sensitive. So with this, if you give it a burnish, it's going to make it easier supposedly to get the backings off. And it also will help it stick better. So I'm just going around taking all of these backings off. And you can hear all my sequins. Now make sure you have it in the right orientation if your paper's got an orientation. Don't ask me about that one. I don't know how many times I've had to rip up pieces because I put them the wrong way down. I'm sure you must be the same. You can't be the only one who puts things upside down, inside out, wrong side, whatever. I can't be the only twerp who does that. There must be others around. Right. Okay, so there we've got our shaker pocket. So, let's finish up our sentiment. So, I'm going to bring in my trimmer. Here we are. And then I'm going to just trim this. There we go. So let's take off some along here. Save that for another day. And then take off some along the bottom there. And then on the sides. And then a bit on the top. I'm just using the lines on my trimmer to line everything up, to try and keep everything as straight as I can. If, like now, you get to the end and you're struggling to hold it in place, you can just take a piece of post-it note tape, washi tape, whatever, and just use that to hold it in place, and it works a treat. There we go, so that's cut out. Okay, so I just realised I lost the last bit of coverage. I think I knocked the microphone and somehow it switched the recording off. I don't understand these things. Anyway, you would have seen me fussy cut out the sentiment. I then backed it on some Early Espresso spare scrap of cardstock. I stuck it down onto my shaker card using some seal. I then put some seal on the back of our little die cut here and stuck this down. Now, I did say in the previous coverage that I lost this little bird that I fussy cut from the Designer Series paper, and that's the Nests of Winter Designer Series paper, and it's a fabulous suite of paper. This is it here, and you get all these little different birds, and you can fussy cut all of them. You've got the small little birds, and then you can see here, you know, there's different pages. Like this is the one here that I used to just fussy cut our little birdies this time. You've got this bird, so you've got a whole different, you've got lots of different options here for you to play about with. And I love papers like this because you can create so many different die embellishments, die cuts, whatever you want to call them, ephemera from one sheet of paper. So then I stuck, after fussy cutting that, I stuck that down on my designer sheet, on my front of my card using some seal, because I felt that using wet glue would just ooze out and it just won't stick as well, because it'll just run off the plastic. And then those are our two cards. So there we have our two fun shaker cards featuring the Nests of Winter Designer Series paper. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you want any more information about the project, the supply list, the measurements, etc., it's all on the blog post, and you can find the supply list listed and linked below, so you can shop everything today. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.